So I'm going to tell you a story. And it's a story that takes place about 6 months to a year after I woke up from being a JW. And I was quite ill. I'd actually had some serious health problems. And my lifestyle had been quite badly curtailed. And I'd also lost all my friends, and I'd lost my belief system, and I was wondering if I was going to lose my family. Things were fairly bad, and I was genuinely feeling quite sorry for myself. I was in a very woe is me, this is dreadful, this is the worst thing that could have ever happened to anybody mode, and I was kind of drowning in self-pity. And, I was going through some bad times. It was pretty rough, so, I was quite justified in feeling down. But I was really drowning in self-pity. And my health started to recover a little bit, so I went out for a run. And I was struggling through this run, and I was it was a run that I used to have been able to do effortlessly, and I was really kind of clawing my way along by my fingertips. And feeling sorry for myself and drowning in self-pity and convinced this is the worst thing that could have ever happened to anyone. And on the way through that run, I passed a very elderly couple. And this elderly couple were pushing in a wheelchair someone who was clearly their son. And he was clearly suffering from a very debilitating disease. He was all kind of twisted up and furled up in this wheelchair, and his face was contorted. And I don't know what the exact, diagnosis of his illness was, but it was clearly something that had been with him from birth and would continue for his entire life. And I suddenly realised what it must be like to be those two elderly parents who knew that very soon they were going to die and that their son would be left alone. Or what it must have been like to be that man, to have lived his entire life confined to that wheelchair, with most human experience cut off from him. And it made me suddenly realise how lucky I was, and how I'm sure that they would have given anything to have my situation. And that's the kind of thing that I think sometimes important to remember, is no matter how bad things are getting for you, no matter how bad life is, there's always someone out there who would give anything to have your situation. If you're seriously ill, there might be someone out there who's even worse. If you've been cut off from your family and friends, well, there might be someone out there who's not only had his family and friends lost to them, but has lost other things as well. I remember hearing someone who had a discussion with someone who had cancer, and they told me that, it could be worse. There's lots of other people out there who would kill to have his cancer, because what they've got was even more debilitating and came with an even more significant diagnosis for their long-term survivability. So, whilst it's not wrong to feel sad and to feel down when things get us bad, and it's okay to feel that, it's natural, but always remember, try not to slump too much into self-pity, because no matter how bad it gets, there's always someone there who's wishing they were you. And in a worst-case scenario, if we were told we had one day left to live, well, that would be awful. But remember that as you're being told that, there's someone out there who's already died. And how much would they give for an extra 24 hours to be able to breathe, feel the sun on their face, be with their family and friends, and just have 24 hours more? So don't give in to self-pity. Don't drown in it. Get out there and seize the day.